Good morning. You're listening to Senior Scene on your hometown station, 1430 WNAV. I'm Joshua Killian, social media producer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and today my guest is Jim Krempel, Community Outreach Coordinator for the Anne Arundel County Office of Emergency Management. Welcome back to Senior Scene, Jim.
Good to be here, Josh.
And Jim, with the possibility of winter snow or ice bringing trees down on wires, can you tell our listeners how to be better prepared for power outages?
Well, Josh, power outages can happen with no warning at almost any time of the year. As you mentioned, snow or ice covered trees can bring electrical wires down and cause localized power outages. But the same can happen in severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, or tropical storms. The saturated ground and high winds can uproot weak trees falling onto wires. And of course, lightning strikes at transformers can shut off neighborhood power. So first, stay informed. Our listeners can receive emergency alerts of impending storms by subscribing to Alert and Arundel, the county's emergency mass notification system. You may subscribe to this free service online at our OEM website shown here, or call our office at 410-222-0600 to subscribe by phone. And remember that electric power can also be interrupted through man-made incidents, such as traffic crashes into power poles, deliberate sabotage of power stations, or even cyber attacks against the electric grid. So as with any potential hazard, it's always better to be prepared in advance.
And with down power lines, they can be dangerous, right? So how should our listeners protect themselves and stay safe?
Well, it's really important to consider all down wires as being energized and therefore dangerous at lethal levels. A line does not have to be sparking to be energized, but if you do see a sparking wire, recognize it immediately as dangerous and call 911. Never touch a down power line or anything or anyone in contact with a power line. Do not try to rescue someone who makes contact with a down power line. You may risk becoming a victim yourself. Immediately call 911. You can also be electrocuted when in the area of a down power line, especially if the ground is wet. Electricity can travel through tree limbs, the ground, fences, and metal playground equipment. According to BGE, the minimum safe distance from a down power line is 35 feet, or at least 3 car lengths away from the downed line. Never use any object to move a downed wire. And remember, rubber gloves and rubber-soled shoes will not protect you from electrocution.
How should we prepare if we expect potential power outages as a result of a storm?
As in any emergency, planning ahead can help you through power outages. Take an inventory now of the items you need that rely on electricity. Have 2 flashlights or battery-powered lanterns and extra batteries on hand for each family member. Do not use candles. They create an additional safety hazard. Fully charged cell phones and a radio with rechargeable batteries. Remember that hardwired landline phones plugged into telephone jacks will probably still work, but cordless phones will not. Have enough non-perishable food and water with your emergency supplies. We recommend at least 3 days' worth for each person and pet for that matter. Set refrigerators and freezers at the maximum cold level and keep the doors closed. Ensure that home generators are possibly installed, safely fueled, and located in an area safe to operate. Talk to your medical provider about a power outage plan for medical devices powered by electricity and refrigerated medicines. Find out how long medication can be stored at higher temperatures and get some specific guidance for medications that are critical for life.
So now that we're prepared if the power might fail, what do we do once the lights go out?
Well, notify BGE of your neighborhood outage by calling 877-888-2222. Or if you still have internet service, you can visit bge.com/outage. You have to stay safe during the power outage, so avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Never burn charcoal, use gasoline machinery, or propane-powered stoves in your home. Once power is out, the rule of thumb is food in a refrigerator starts to spoil after about 4 hours, but a freezer can stay cold for up to 48 hours. Don't wait for spoiled items to smell. If in doubt, throw it out. Use your flashlights and emergency shelter-in-place kit. Monitor critical medical equipment. Safely operate a generator or have battery backup. Turn off disconnected appliances, equipment, or electronics. Power may return with momentary surges or spikes that can cause damage. When the power is restored, wait several minutes before turning on appliances or electronics. Then check on your neighbors. Older adults and young children are especially vulnerable to extreme temperatures. If it is safe to do so, go to a community cooling or warming center with power if the heat or cold is extreme. Keep your car's gas tank full. Remember, gas station pumps may not operate in a power outage.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for coming on the show today and giving all of our listeners good advice on preparing for power outages. Your office offers a lot of practical information on how to be ready for any emergencies. How do our listeners learn more?
Well, it's always my pleasure, Josh. Remember to prepare for any emergency, stay informed, make a plan, build an emergency kit, and get involved. Listeners can visit our website at www.aacounty.org/OEM for more information. They can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Nextdoor, and YouTube. Any community group, civic organization, business, or house of worship can request an in-person or virtual emergency preparedness presentation by visiting our website or emailing oemoutreach@aacounty.org, or they can call our office at 410-222-0600.
If you have any questions about any of our programs or services, you can always call the Department of Aging and Disabilities at 410-222-4257, or you can visit us online. And also please remember to follow us on Facebook at AACODOAD. This has been Joshua Killian, social media producer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and you've been listening to Senior Scene on your hometown station, 1430 WNAV.